Really to see Sean's deck, Odysseus. He has my favorite deck in the event, and it was not one that I ever expected to happen. So really excited to see how this deck does. I haven't actually gotten to watch any of his matches yet, so this is going to be really exciting for me. But overall, I thought the event has been great. Lots of fantastic games. While my day today did not necessarily go the best, I think it has been a good day for Cube in general.
Yeah, I agree. And I think these players are ready to start, so we're going to go ahead and hop right over to their game. Wow, it looks like OmniPoke started off with the Garchomp C with the DCE on turn 1, so not much more than you can ask.
Yeah, Garchomp C DCE is pretty nice. Let's see. His hand is tremendous.
Yeah.
Did Sean mulligan a bunch of
I
times?
think he did. I think he mulliganed a bunch of times. I saw a lot of reveals and shuffles, so I was assuming that was mulligans.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 cards in OmniPoke's hand, so you'd have 8, which means Sean mulliganed 5 times.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he plays a lot of basics. I'm surprised he mulliganed that much.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is going to be interesting. Okay, and now I can see his hand as well. Wow, that's a terrible hand.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to get a lot of value out of that power spray with only a shaman and the
And I
active.
believe that is a game 1 over already.
All
Wow.
right. Well, no need to reset the board. We'll hop on over to game 2.
All right.
OmniPoke, like it is.
Okay, I believe that was a gentleman's mulligan coming out from Odysseus on that first hand.
Mm.
Because he didn't reveal it, so that is a gentleman's. This hand he has to keep. So last time he had to keep a hand after his gentleman's. We will see if he is able to draw into something better this time.
OmniPoke's like, it is late where I'm at, so it's time to let's get this over with. Speed running the Champions Cube, it seems.
Yeah, finals were supposed to start 45 minutes ago, so OmniPoke is ready to get things back on track.
Right, he's helping the stream schedule stay as close. But all right,
all right. Palkia G is a much better start.
Yeah.
All right, so we see an attach and pass. I mean, not too much more Odysseus could ask for in this first turn.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what they have in their hands here. Hopefully, I mean, OmniPoke's hand is a lot more controlled than last game, so hopefully he's.
Yeah, this is not anything explosive. Did he keep this, or is this a gentleman's mulligan hand?
On OmniPoke's side?
Yeah, he kept it.
I think he kept it.
Why?
I'm not quite sure.
This hand is terrible on OmniPoke's side.
Maybe he's thinking, okay, I have a Star Raptor, I'll probably draw into something else. I don't know.
I guess maybe he's thinking like turn 1 Earthquake is pretty good.
I mean, it does put pressure on him.
Turn 150 is hard to argue with, especially considering maybe he was thinking about a donk like he got last game, although Sean has a lot of really big basics in his deck. I don't think he has a single one. He has one basic that gets donked by a turn 1 Earthquake, which is a Murkrow, so no big surprise here. And he does just go for the Earthquake, so now it's back to Odysseus. He has a much better hand. We will see what happens.
Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure like he knows now they didn't play a supporter. Well, he played Mina. 4-card hand. I don't think he's going to be tempted to play the Marnie.
See, I could see this being deceptive, because if OmniPoke's hand is really strong, say he's sitting on a Garchomp C, but Sean does see the play here. Ooh, that's a nice set of cards. That's gonna, if he plays the Dawn Stadium, it's gonna put him outside of Earthquake range. He can get the Suicune down. He can get the Energy Gain down. He can use a Pearl Breath. This is like probably some of the best 4 cards Sean possibly could have drawn.
Yeah, he's probably wishing he would have drawn like this last game, because he's definitely getting a lot of the combo pieces. He's going to be able to get the Suicune down, which is great. And like you said, the Dawn Stadium is going to be very helpful for him to stay alive.
Yeah. Just being able to dodge that Earthquake for a 2-hit. Oh, he didn't play it.
Wow.
Oh, that's a huge mistake.
I wonder why.
He's going to use Splashing Turn into the Suicune.
Is there any reason to hold the Dawn Stadium?
No, I don't think there. So yes, there are potentially reasons. Joe is playing double Verbank. He's playing Lucamine. He has ways to get it back. It's going to be a struggle for Sean to win the Stadium War. Maybe he's just like, I got to keep this Dawn Stadium so that I can bounce up Burbank with it. But I don't think he needed to go that far.
Right. Oh, man.
Maybe he's also thinking about a Brinies on this Suicune.
That could be.
I think that the Pearl Breath would have been so much better there. Oh, okay, so I see. Sean was thinking that no, I was gonna say Sean was thinking that Joe had the level up Dragon Rush, but then that play still wouldn't make sense because he can hit the Palkia wherever. So I don't know. Seems maybe a lapse in consideration there.
Maybe he's still catching his bearings from that last game.
So he's gonna Poketurn his Palkia, pick it up, probably re-bench it, attach a water, put the gain on the active so that he can get a Poison Bind.
That seems pretty decent, at least to get the poison on there. Although, man, that Garchomp C level X is going to be a real thorn in his side.
It is, but he knows that Joe's hand is really weak now. So this Poison Bind, dealing 10, poisoning the Garchomp, making it so he can't retreat, it's actually really strong. And then Garchomp should be at 40.
Yeah, after poison.
Yep. All right, we will make sure they know.
It looks like we saw double tails on Dual Ball.
Yeah, which is huge. I mean, I don't know. Man. Let's see. Let's take a look at OmniPoke's list, see how many Pokemon that he has that could actually get him out of this situation. He doesn't actually have any basic Pokemon that can get him out of this. He has no Pokemon that search his deck and draw him cards. So it's definitely bad luck to get double tails, but I don't think it influences the game too dramatically.
Yeah, because I mean, like the most he'd be able to probably grab is maybe some other basic to set up, but he doesn't have anything that's substantial to really go into yet. But I guess he could grab Baltoy, Wally, and Claydol.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have actually been pretty huge if those pieces are in his deck.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So getting the Baltoy, being able to Wally into Claydol, you were completely right. That would have been really big. So looks like this game is going pretty quickly. We might actually just see OmniPoke drop a game right back. and then we would be on more even terms. Although this Sableye is going to be an interesting piece to this matchup. Being able to come up and use the Dual Ball or pick up the Dual Ball again, it's going to take OmniPoke a couple of turns, but he's going to have some life. It's not like his game is over. And Odysseus has a pretty interesting decision here, though, with because he really wants to get this knockout on the Garchomp, but he would have to attach the Rainbow Energy to the active to do so. So we might just see another Poison Bind here, put the Garchomp up to 70, and then have it knocked out coming back into his turn. That is what he does. He decides that the prize is not that important.
We see a draw supporter for now. He top picked Janine. Not the best, but certainly better than what he could have gotten.
Yeah, better than nothing, which is where he's at right now. So we will see what 4 cards come to him off of this. That's a Poketurn, which is great for him. It's going to prevent him from losing this prize, and it's going to allow him to junk hunt if he needs to. He has a Celios as well, which is going to let him next turn get into his Garchomp C level X. So pretty good Janine. It's not going to change the game instantly, but it is definitely going to do him some favors.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think at least he's got, some more of his support into his hand. Granted, I'm curious to see if maybe I don't think we saw him Gentleman's Mulligan, so I think he did hold on to this hand. I'm curious what the thought process was, or maybe he forgot about the Gentleman's Mulligan. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm curious.
Yeah, good question, though. All right, he picks up the Garchomp. He's really thinking hard about what he wants to promote here. If he promotes the Sableye, he can junk hunt, but now he doesn't need to do that quite as badly, so he promotes the Staraptor. Might just want to get some damage out. What he doesn't know is that this Marnie is sitting in Sean's hand, though, and I do think we are going to see that played in the upcoming turn. So,
yeah,
OmniPoke, right. Always a professional at flipping heads on quick attack.
Very nice indeed. Not the best on dual ball, but you know.
I don't think this Shaman changes a whole lot for Sean.
I don't think it does
So we do see the rainbow energy come down onto the Suicune. It's going to fully set that up. Does he have ways to get out of this active?
Sean or OmniPoke?
Sean. Okay, so Sean has a float stone that he can't play because he already has a gain on the active. He has an escape rope. And that is it. So and a Poke turn. But he does not hit any of those, so he's still not going to be able to attack with the Suicune this turn.
It looks like he just goes to play the Marnie. Which
yeah,
I'm sure
this is an
he's like, I want to see that.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting situation for both players now because the Marnie has left them both with pretty weak hands. I mean, definitely not the hand that OmniPoke was coming from. Now, anything was better than what Sean had before because he was pretty much out of cards. But
he did get Skunk Tank and Scott, so he can get Supporter plus Verbank.
That is true.
Which would knock out the Roserade.
I'm interested to see how this works out here, and definitely interested to see what comes off the top for both of these players too, because it's going to be pretty influential, I think.
Yeah. Has Omni had a chance to
so
his deck?
OmniPoke actually goes for the Gladion here.
Has he done the search yet? Does he know what's prize or has an idea what's prize?
He has done a search. The Mina in the early game allowed him to search.
Who's grabbing the call energy?
I think that was a Gladion into the dark for the most part. I don't think he had a huge plan there. I am really surprised he decided not to go for the Scott.
That seems like it would be really good. You get the knockout on the Roserade, plus you get supporters for next turn. But I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess he still has that for later, but I don't know. Maybe he's trying to preserve the Verbank for some reason.
I don't think he would. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see the play. I can't think of any reason why he wouldn't decide to take the knockout here. I mean, it's completely free. Maybe he's thinking that he's going to force Odysseus to have the energy, but it's not that unlikely off of the Marnie to have at least one energy to get out of the active.
Right. Oh, you know what? Verbank actually would knock out the Staraptor at the same time.
Staraptor wouldn't be poisoned. I see what you're saying. Because it's already poisoned. Because it's poisoned by so he would. Well, the Staraptor would be up to 70, so it would go down going back into OmniPoke's turn.
Yeah.
Still, I think a preferred situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see Odysseus are onto another energy. Not exactly what he's looking for here, but he's not in a bad spot at all. He's going to be able to swing with this Suicune pretty clean. I do think that maybe OmniPoke is waiting for Skuntank to... or waiting to bench Skuntank until the Suicune is in the active to put Odysseus in an uncomfortable situation. And Odysseus kind of sees this play. I think he's got the read here. And he just decides to set up the Palkia. He is going to force OmniPoke to knock out this Roserade.
Yeah, what's nice with he's just able to basically chill with the Roserade because it's just putting, little chip damage here and there. Kind of annoying to deal with on OmniPoke's side.
I am really surprised he decided not to play that Scott at all because now in this upcoming turn, he's going to lose that Staraptor going back into Odysseus's turn.
Yeah.
And had he played the Scott, he could have a supporter for this turn that would put him in a much better situation. But now that he doesn't actually have another supporter, he's basically guaranteed to lose this Staraptor. Oh, and actually, I just realized Skuntank would not actually work. Because Roserade GL is also an SP Pokemon.
Oh, good call. Yeah, we haven't seen that come up a lot, surprisingly.
Yeah. In that case, I think playing the Scott was absolutely correct because you reveal the Verbank, you reveal the Skuntank, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but you have a supporter for the next turn. And now he does decide to play the Scott. He's like, okay, I'm gonna lose the game if I don't play the Scott here. So
right. You did get the Bronzong, That could move the energy off Staraptor, or do you think he's better to go for the knockout?
I think he probably goes for the knockout.
Yeah, I guess the energy on Sableye he can always move.
He's not. He actually can't move the energy off of Sableye. Bronzong G has to move an energy off of an SP Pokemon.
Oh, you're right, man. I keep messing up all these SP interactions.
No, it's very tricky for sure. Okay, so we see a Scott for Cyrus's Conspiracy, Burbank City Gym, and Opal. Nothing super surprising here.
Right.
Cyrus's Conspiracy going to be able to get OmniPoke a Garchomp Sea Level X in the following turn, so let's go into hand. I wonder if we'll see a benched Garchomp C here. I think we probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he gets that down. He's got the Stun Tank in hand. He'll probably hold that. And then he's got the Bronzong. Probably play that. He does. He does play the Stun Tank. Just trying to give himself some insurance. I don't think Odysseus has another way to shuffle his hand back, though.
I don't think he does.
He does not.
Staraptor goes down.
All right, Staraptor does go down. Odysseus promotes this Cresselia. It's got free retreat, so very nice. Odysseus draws. Luxray GL level X, not really what he's looking for. He draws a prize. Okay, he did not take his prize yet. So does the escape rope change anything? I don't think so. Well, actually, so I don't think he needs to play the escape rope. He can just use Suicune's Frozen Flow, but pretty much any of Joe's benched Pokemon are less ideal to have in the active than the Garchomp that's active right now.
Yeah, it's very inconvenient to have any of those other cards in the active, just because he doesn't want damage on any of them. He doesn't want to lose the energy off Sableye. He obviously wants to keep Stun Tank and Bronzong around because they're his supports. And then Garchomp with the energy is obviously his most important card on the field right now. So yeah, you're right. The Garchomp C in the active is probably the thing he cares the least about.
Yeah, so I would really like to see. So he does play the escape rope. I don't see a compelling reason to do this just because he's already got the effect on Suicune, unless he wants to be able to go into Palkia and hit whatever Joe sends up with Palkia. Being able to go into Palkia if OmniPoke sends up, say, like Bronzong G is going to be preferable to Suicune because then he can't get poison structured.
Right.
So interested to see where this escape rope ends up.
I mean, what do you think he'll send up here?
I have to guess it will be Skuntank.
Yeah.
Skuntank is easier to get out of the active than anything else. It's not knocked out by the Suicune, which Sableye is. I would say Sableye is better if that wasn't the case. Obviously, you don't want to endanger your 80 HP Garchomp. Although he might go into that just saying, like, I don't think you have a damage modifier. And Odysseus does not play any.
Interesting. Yes, he sends up the
Okay, so we do see him go into the Sableye. OmniPoke really wants to see this Suicune come into the active. He really wants to start this poison and get that chip damage onto it, make it easier to knock out. I do think Odysseus going for the Aurora Gain here just to take the knockout on the Sableye. Take another card from his prizes into his hand, maybe get a supporter would be the play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Oh, and I was actually wrong. There is one Giovanni's scheme in Odysseus's list that he could bump 20 more damage with, so could knock out the Garchomp that way.
Okay. Well, we'd love to see a knockout with Giovanni's scheme.
People undervalue the 20 damage on Giovanni's scheme.
Well, in Cube, it makes such a big difference. You know, more than it probably did in Standard when it was legal. Like 20 damage here is what separates you from taking a prize.
Oh, absolutely. And I do like Sean's play here of playing the escape rope to keep the Palkia open.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because he still has a way to set it up next turn if he needs to.
It gives Joe imperfect information as well.
Right.
You know, he's playing an escape rope into, who knows, like Joe has to play around way more cards in his deck than if Odysseus just retreated into the Suicune. So Aurora Gain's going to take a knockout. I do believe we're going to see an energy onto the Palkia before the end of the turn. Can't really see a reason why you'd choose not to do that.
No, I think he definitely wants to keep up with his attachments.
He's probably considering whether or not he wants to play the energy gain. I don't believe Joe actually has any tool removal.
I think you're right. No, because he can't get rid of a cessation crystal. I remember in Mike's
Yeah.
game. So
So the only reason he might choose to keep this energy gain is if he thinks he's going to need it for something else down the line, which is reasonable. Does Joe have a way to shuffle back the hand here? No, he does not. OmniPoke cannot disrupt his opponent's hand.
yeah, so
So there's no real risk to keeping this energy gain. Oh, we actually see a retreat. I wonder about that. I think Odysseus is using up resources here that he doesn't need to.
Yeah, I'm curious too because I thought that was a pretty safe knockout for him. Is he maybe just feeling threatened by the skunk tank?
Well, so there is no combination of cards in Joe's deck that actually gives him a knockout on the Suicune following turn.
Right.
Okay, so we see attached to the Suicune retreat and then splashing turn the Sableye. Kind of strange. I don't quite get the thinking here. Maybe he just wants to be able to use Pearl Breath to set up the knockout in the following turn. I mean, even if Joe just uses Junk Hunt here, he gets a Poke turn back, which he doesn't have another one in deck, so that's a really big recovery.
See, I would have thought getting the energy off would have been great. Like just taking out the Sableye, get your prize, take the energy away that you can't move with Bronzong.
Yeah, and then even with Verbank, Poison Structure, Dragon Rush, that's only 90 damage because the Eviolite on the Suicune.
Right.
So I'm not quite sure what he's playing around here. Okay, so we see Osiris's Conspiracy for Elusamine, SP Radar, and a Dark Energy. No big surprises. He did top deck an SP Radar, which is not great for him. He probably would have preferred to top deck something else since SP Radar is the only target left in his deck that he can actually get off of Cyrus.
Right.
So it's not like it opens other options for him. He just has a card in hand that he was already going to get, and it doesn't benefit him that much. But we do actually see a Junk Hunt here for Poketurn and Dual Ball, and I am a fan of this play. Luxray coming into hand. We see the bench. I have to imagine we see a Pearl Breath this turn. Odysseus has indicated that that's kind of his plan.
Yeah, I think like him going for Palkia that turn has shown like, okay, well, I'm obviously trying to set up math to do 50 damage, set up 10 on everything else.
Yeah. And he's not really going to be able to respond to a Healing Breath here. I think the spread is not valuable.
No,
it could be that he's trying to win the Stadium War before Suicune comes into the active, but I think he's thinking a little bit too hard about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wish I would have seen him attack with Suicune last turn because then he also wouldn't have gotten the Junk Hunt off. Like, it essentially just gave him more time to attach energy, stack his hand with better cards.
Yeah, and Poketurn is just such a tremendously powerful card.
Right, especially when you're not as aggressive as his deck is. Like, knowing that he can pick up that Garchomp and heal everything at, various points of the game is going to be pretty bad for Odysseus.
I would really like to see like a Hydro Shot on a Skuntank or a Bronzong in this game.
Yeah.
We'll see if we get that. But okay, so Joe goes into the Garchomp. His plan is pretty clear. Goes for the Dual Ball.
One head.
He is not totally dry on Dual Ball.
Well, his hand looks significantly better than last time he played Dual Ball.
That is very true. Yeah, that base oak coming off the top is pretty nice. Dual Ball into Baltoy is definitely the obvious one, but what is the next?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like the only benefit right now that he has Palkia in the active is that Skuntank can't poison him, but he still has to be able to deal with the healing from Garchomp and the fact that now he has Poketurn back in his hand. So there's nothing stopping him from evolving to another Garchomp and moving the energy over Bronzong, finding DCE, doing this all over again.
Odysseus kind of being punished here for using that escape rope earlier too. I know we talked about why it might have been the right play, but now this Palkia is more or less stranded in the active until it goes down, unless he wants to discard all the energy off of it. I don't think that's what he's looking for.
No.
All right, we do see an SP radar for the Garchomp C. We see another SP radar, get a second Staraptor FB. Fast Call has definitely been one of the most powerful consistency effects in this draft, so no surprise to see that coming out here.
Yeah, Fast Call's been insane. I mean, you just basically have access to everything you need every deck. So I mean, that's what you want.
Right, so we see the Staraptor come down. I imagine we're going to see a Garchomp C level X at some point here. We see an Opal come down. He gets the double heads to make up for the double tails on the dual ball. Think I would take a double heads on an Opal in exchange for a double tails on a dual ball any day.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very happy to see that.
Yeah.
Opal's
All right, we get a Claydol, we get a DCE.
I was gonna say Opal's not a common card we see. You know, flip two coins. For each hedge, you get basically to search a card out from your deck. So, not the most consistent supporter, but I mean, when you're in a situation like this where you already have access to Claydol, it can be very impactful.
Exactly, and we may actually see a Dragon Rush coming out from Garchomp C here.
Right.
He could knock out the Luxray. I don't know if it would be worth it, really. So, the way that OmniPoke wins this match is just by chewing through Sean's stuff. Right. Saying, I'm going to force you to have it over and over and over again. So we see a Verbank come down. Poison structure does not actually work. I guess he just doesn't want him to have the healing from the Dawn Stadium. Maybe he's done some math wrong. Okay, so he is just going to use the Earthquake here. He wants to preserve that Garchomp. I could see a Poketurn coming out next turn, although it is going to be a loss of energy, so interesting play.
Yeah, 3 attacks.
Another energy off the top for Odysseus. His hand started off pretty strong, and it is not giving him much to work with anymore.
Not to mention his opponent's going to have access to Claydol next turn, so, I mean, he's going to be drawing a lot more cards than Odysseus will be.
Very true. So we're going to see an Aurora energy probably come down on the Luxray. I imagine we see a Suicune discard. Yes. A Pearl Breath is actually going to set up the Claydol for a Bright Look knockout the following turn. So would not be surprised to see that come out. Because even if OmniPoke does decide to we see a splashing turn.
Yeah, into the Cresselia, I suppose.
I do not like this play.
Yeah, I mean,
Odysseus doesn't have anything in his deck that will pressure the Garchomp.
Plus, now that you're attaching to the Luxray, it instantly becomes more threatening.
Yeah, so now what's going to happen is OmniPoke is going to be able to snipe the Palkia. Odysseus is going to lose that energy. And he's only going to have gotten 20 damage for it.
Yeah, and we see the DC in OmniPoke's hand that he has the ability to attack. Like he should be able to stream like attacks pretty quickly. It looks like he's attaching that to Staraptor FB, probably going for maybe future Defog.
Yeah, Defog, very powerful attack for sure. And with Verbank not being super helpful in this matchup, it's not a surprise that he might just be willing to discard it for the extra damage.
And he's got the Loose Bean in hand too, so if he ever needs the Verbank back, he can find it.
Definitely. Cosmic Power doesn't really find him anything that he's looking for. See, but TV reporter probably discard the Poochyena here. Probably the Winona. I don't know. Tough call.
Yeah.
Poochyena does go to the discard. Winona is pretty live, being able to search for the Garchomp C level X and the Staraptor FB level X.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that looks pretty good for him, and he still has the Poketurn in hand. So at any point when he wants to pick that card back up, he can go. The Palkia with 5 damage counters on it is pretty detrimental. He's going for
We actually just see an earthquake here. Oh no, we see a claw swipe.
Yeah, interesting play.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Okay. So we are going to see a Sonya here for Odysseus. What's the find?
I
He
I am not
he
sure.
doesn't have a lot of basics left, actually.
I mean,
It's-
he still has Celebration Wind Shaman if he ever wanted to manipulate damage around energy around. Um, I don't think he's going to be trying to set up a Murkrow at this moment, given his hand.
he, he could be grabbing a Manaphy, or he could just get energy.
Yeah, that's true. So I am not quite sure what he's going to grab here. Sonya is basically just bootleg Roseanne.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. This is a tough situation. Like, Shaman's not that
He's
impactful.
taking his time searching. I think he realizes he doesn't have a ton of targets. The Manaphy is helpful, but it's going to take 2 turns of using Manaphy to heal a Palkia outside of KO range.
And the problem,
And, of course, OmniPoke can always snipe the Manaphy.
right?
Which I don't know about you, but if I saw that Manaphy come down on OmniPoke's side, I would not hesitate to get rid of that as soon as I could.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, 'cause you don't want to be dealing with that later when you're trying to knock out the Suicune. Is that what he's grabbing? Seems like he might be taking it back.
Might be deciding to go for the energy here, deciding that there's not really a lot of benefit for him in going for the Pokemon.
Yeah, do you think he's like trying to attack with Luxray this turn, like the Claydol? Or
Well, so he didn't use Pearl Breath last turn. Yeah, he goes for Palkia and a Shaman. So what we could see is we could see him bench a Palkia, Celebration Wind onto it, move his energy around a little bit.
yeah, I suppose, yeah, because the other Palkia is already heavily damaged.
Yeah. Because he didn't go for the Pearl Breath last turn, it does mean that Claydol is not actually going to be able to be knocked out by the Luxray this turn because there's no way for him to deal 80
Right.
or 70. He could still pull it up, hit it with Luxray, and then say, like, I'm going to make you have to get this out of the active. And OmniPoke doesn't have a great way to deal with it as far as, like, healing the Claydol or anything like that. So we could very easily see a Pearl Breath afterward to clean up that Claydol, but we are going to see a Celebration Wind move the energy up to the new Palkia. Do we see another Splashing Turn? Splashing Turn would put the Garchomp up to 40, which does put it in range of being knocked out with Suicune.
I'm not sure.
He still has an attachment too. Okay, so we do see the Splashing Turn here. That's not too much of a surprise. Going back into that Cresselia, nice free retreat. Almost definitely going to be knocked out the next turn. But if OmniPoke does not attack the active, then it will survive once again. So pretty nice pivot there just to have that my way, give it free retreat with the stadium.
It's definitely a benefit for him. He has a free pivot, and it's pretty tanky, so it can survive even another Verbank.
Winona comes out grabbing Garchomp C. Garchomp C little X.
Here we go.
Staraptor FB.
Now he's getting set up. Yeah, Winona seems like a very strong card in his deck, given all of his attackers, and like I mean, his main cards are colorless.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the best decks you could make with Winona in this cube.
For sure, for sure.
We could see a retreat into the other Garchomp and then just claw swipe there.
Yeah, maybe. Is there any reason he'd go for Defog here?
Yeah, I mean Defog is a solid attack. It doesn't commit OmniPoke to anything that he might not want to do. So definitely a valid consideration going for that Defog.
Yeah, 'cause that would actually knock
See an
out.
energy come down to the Garchomp C, so he's definitely not going to go for the defog. But he could
Maybe,
go for the Claw Swipe. I think we'll probably see a level up to get that Healing Breath.
right? And we do. There it is. Feeling all the SPs.
Yep, Healing Breath. It was smart of Odysseus to force out the Healing Breath, just to make that other Garchomp easier, put it within Suicune range. And we're just going to see a Dragon Rush onto the Suicune. Odysseus, or OmniPoke is tired of it. He does not want to see the Suicune anymore, so he is just going to put 60 damage onto the Suicune.
Fair enough.
Gonna make the ooh, and Odysseus top decks the Manaphy to punish the
Wow.
Dragon Rush on the Suicune.
I was already to say, do you think the Manaphy would have made a difference here? And there it is.
Yeah, with the
Oh my
blessings of the
gosh.
deep onto the Suicune, he is going to put it outside of another Dragon Rush knockout range. So that's going to give Odysseus a lot of options here. He might choose to go for the Bright Look on the Staraptor now that he knows that OmniPoke's got it in hand. He's got a DCE on it. It can prevent him from Galactic switching it off. If he goes for the Luxray on the Staraptor, then he can not only hurt OmniPoke's setup, but he can also take a prize. He can get some energy off the board. I kind of like that line attacking, but
Yeah.
he has a lot of choices here.
Yeah, I like attacking the Staraptor, especially since he already committed one DCE to it. You're getting a huge value because you're killing not only one of his biggest consistency engines, but also one of his 3 DCs is now gone.
He does go into Luxray. What do we see come up?
Looks like he's thinking about it. I mean, I don't
I think
know.
he's deciding between the Staraptor and the Claydol.
My only issue with the Claydol
But
is that he
Claydol is
doesn't knock
really
it out.
yeah, exactly. And Claydol also has the downside of being pretty easy to get out of the active. Oh, he actually goes for the no, he doesn't go for the Bronzong G. Yeah, he knows that OmniPoke has the Poketurn in hand, so the Bronzong G is not gonna stick.
I feel like you have to go for the Staraptor here. Every other Pokemon's either going to get scooped up. I don't know.
Yeah, if he goes into the or if he goes after the Claydol, then it's just going to get retreated out of. Now it is pretty easy for Odysseus to pick up the knockout later on,
Right.
and it does force OmniPoke to attach a Twin Energy and discard it, or move up with Galactic Switch. So maybe Odysseus is going for a 2-turn play here, where deals some damage to the Claydol. Although he still hasn't benched that Manaphy, and he needs to if he wants to keep this Suicune alive.
Yeah, I wonder. I hope he hasn't forgotten about it yet. But he's probably just thinking through the plays. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't come down. I mean, he needs to heal the Suicune, so I'm sure that's. He still hasn't attached for turn either, so.
Yeah, if he doesn't bench this Manaphy, then he is going to be in a really tough spot, actually.
Yeah, man.
Just because OmniPoke very easily can Galactic Switch either the DCE up to the Claydol, he can attach the Twin in hand, or he can just or so essentially the Claydol is getting out of the active. Oh, he retreats into the Palkia. He puts the energy on the Palkia. Need to heal the Suicune. Do we see it? Oh gosh, I hope so bad that he uses the Manaphy on the Suicune.
He didn't double retreat, right?
He did.
Says he went Cresselia into Luxray.
Yep. You're correct.
Yeah, sometimes these turns take a long time. It's hard to keep up. Was this last turn or this turn? But I can't think of another reason Cresselia would be in the active. It looks like they're going to fix that.
Okay, they do fix that.
Perfect. Okay.
And then Odysseus is going to attach the energy to the Luxray.
Oh, man. I wonder if that would have changed his decision. If he was thinking about...
Maybe.
Is he about going into Palkia instead?
Palkia doesn't knock out the Claydol though, so still pretty much the same. And he actually doesn't bench the Manaphy to heal the Suicune, so we are almost certainly going to see a Dragon Rush to knock out the
Oh,
Suicune
wow.
here. And I think that it's not necessarily
Well,
going to be a nail in the
he
coffin, but
actually
it is going to make it
he
extremely
can bench
hard
it.
for Odysseus to win.
He's bench locked. He's got 5.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's a little weird how it's
You're right.
positioned, but yeah, no, I was just kind of after you said that, I was like, oh, wait, he's at 5. He actually can't. So the man, if he's just there, kind of taunting him.
Yep, you are completely correct. So he's actually just going to throw the damage into the Suicune here, knowing that the Dragon Rush is probably going to come out on it.
Yeah. Oof. Things are not looking good.
Yeah, so we see a Galactic Switch. No surprises there. Going to come up, going to retreat the Claydol. And then I have to imagine he goes into one of the Garchomps here. So he's going to go into the Dark Energy one, probably attach the Twin. We do see the Twin come down.
Yep, just functionally another DCE for him.
Yeah, exactly. Twin Energy does have a few Pokemon it misses in this cube, but not as many as they're used to be.
Like, it wouldn't work on a Shaman EX for 2 energy, so. But Garchomp's just fine.
So we do see the Twin Energy, or we do see the Dragon Rush on the Suicune. So there's a POW hand extension. Does that give Odysseus more options?
I think they're tied on prizes, so.
Or are they? You are correct. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I don't think at this moment is necessarily going to help. Oh, but he can't even use Palkia's second attack at this moment.
We just see a Flash Impact. Probably
Yeah.
put the 40 on the Shaman, or he might put it on the damaged Palkia. That would work as well.
Yeah, he's kind of stuck. You think he would bench the Manaphy, right, and start healing something?
Well, he doesn't have anything with damage on it right now.
Oh,
nothing,
yeah.
nothing that he has energy on has any damage.
That's true. Yeah, I guess he doesn't really care about the other. Oh yeah, it needs water energy attached to it. And then OmniPoke's hand is so stacked.
Yeah, I mean, what more could he want at this point? Other than some more energy, he is a little low.
Yeah, he is. I think he's gone through all of his double colorless energy.
This Dark Patch is actually stranded in his hand, too.
Right.
Yeah, OmniPoke's deck, as good as it is, it's really not built to have to use Dragon Rush more than 6 times in a game.
Yeah, it starts to it gets a little bit more challenging after you run out of resources. And I think, not to mention the amount of times that Odysseus has had to put him in weird situations that he's had to burn resources, doesn't help.
Yeah, and OmniPoke only plays 11 energy in his deck. Does he have, like, special charge? I think I see one in his list.
Yep,
Yeah, he does have a special charge. Yeah, so that special charge essentially helps him through longer games similar to this one. He's going to use a fast call here. Does use that last Poke turn, so he's not going to have another one this game. He's going to get a Team Flare Grunt, probably hit the Aurora energy.
Yeah, that does seem awkward for Odysseus. He doesn't have a lot of ways to attack with the Lux right now.
Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of ways to attack with the Luxray in general.
Yeah, I thought he maybe...
He's got one Rainbow that he already attached. He's got one Aurora that he already attached. So now he's down to one Lightning energy as his last way to attach, or last way to attack with Luxray.
You'd have to top deck it at this point. But even still, it's like, I don't know that he was going to help him at this right now.
Right, so he goes back into the Garchomp. Where do we see this attack?
I don't know.
He's got a lot of options. He might just swing at the active. I think that would probably be his best play, because the Garchomp's not really in danger.
Yeah.
And he does swing at the active, so he Earthquakes. And he knocks out his own Claydol. I don't know if he realized that he would do that.
I don't know.
Because the Claw Swipe would set up the Luxray to be knocked out with a Dragon Rush later on.
Right.
It's exactly enough damage. So I think he probably didn't realize exactly how that would work.
Yeah, it's very strange.
All right, so off those prizes and off the top, we do see a couple of really nice cards coming out here for Odysseus. So, POW hand extension, he decides he's not really interested in. It doesn't help him in this situation too much, I agree.
Especially
So
when
we
you're not
see
your
Cynthia
head.
Caitlin getting back a Marnie, gonna draw 3 cards.
So I was thinking actually, what this does for him now that he knocked up the Claydol, he might feel like his support's strong enough now that he has Star Raptor that he can instead bench the Weavile, use the Dark Patch, and now get more energy in play.
That is true. Yeah, the Weavile was stranded in the hand until something was knocked out, so it could have been deliberate.
Yeah.
He's like, I already have fast call. I have plenty of supporters left. Not too worried about cosmic power. So the Cynthia Caitlin draws for Odysseus, not too bad, not too great either. We probably do see a Pearl Breath at the end of this turn.
Yeah,
I imagine we. Oh, I see, I see. So one other thing, OmniPoke was playing around the Manaphy heal on the Luxray because if he doesn't Earthquake, then he only has. He will essentially put the Luxray back down to 10 after the Manaphy heal. So that was what he was playing around most likely.
Yeah, I mean, good on him for thinking ahead. It's funny how these little damage mods actually come into play.
Yeah, they do matter a lot. I really would have liked to see the benched Manaphy to heal the Luxray, just because it forces OmniPoke. It's like, you must use Dragon Rush on the next turn. Whereas now he can kind of chew on it a little bit. He doesn't really have to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Or he's not pressured as much. Bronzong should be at 5. Missed a counter there. I do like the Pearl Breath here. So if the Garchomp doesn't decide to knock out the Luxray the next turn, it does set him up to knock out the Garchomp with the Luxray, because Sean has this Palkia that's really scary now.
Yeah, the Probra being able to do 10 to the bench is pretty significant now that the Poke turn's gone.
Yeah, now that so OmniPoke is not totally out of healing, but he's close.
He's got he's got his Garchomp in hand, but I don't think he can do it like after that, right?
Yeah, so after that last Garchomp C comes down, that's it. He's done. In addition, we could see a Galactic Switch here, but he doesn't have the energy that he needs to actually attack with the Garchomp C on the bench. So he's essentially just going to have to pass if he does retreat and use Healing Breath, because he doesn't have any Poke turns left. He doesn't have the energy to actually go into the. Okay, so we see a Wally.
Oh, he's gonna do the Mightyena play.
Yep, he's gonna go for the Mightyena.
That does a lot, right? Because he's gonna be able to attack with no energy and Verbank.
Yeah, it's gonna be 0 energy for 80. Now Mightyena is gonna start ticking down really fast. It's going to take 30 damage immediately because of the Verbank.
Right. Unfortunately, it does not
So
poison the
not
Palkia.
right. Yeah, so it's a really strong play here from OmniPoke for sure, because he does not want to use this Garchomp C this turn. My guess would be we might see a Galactic Switch from the Staraptor off to the Garchomp C. That way he can potentially use Dragon Rush soon.
He's going to need to.
He decides not to, though. He decides to leave it. So we do just see a desperate attack for 80 onto Odysseus's active.
I probably would have liked to have seen either the Galactic Switch, or maybe he's planning on using Defog. I don't know.
Defog seems so risky to me with the Luxray in play.
I don't know how you get Garchomp. I would like to see like a Galactic Switch onto the Garchomp, and then promote it, evolve, and then do another Galactic Switch and try to get energy. I think that would have been at least a little bit decent.
Yeah, I think I do agree that a Galactic Switch off of the Spiritomb would have been, or a Spiritomb Staraptor would have been good. But maybe he sees that Defog as a more valuable option at this point.
That's what I'm guessing because he's gonna run out of the Bronzong's gonna get knocked out if um he only can do it one more time before he has to heal.
Yeah, and Odysseus is in a weird spot here.
Yeah.
He's got this Palkia, doesn't have a lot he can do with it. Now, if he levels up, he loses the Palkia for sure. Uh, OmniPoke is definitely gonna knock this active out. However, he can force a Pokemon off of OmniPoke's bench, which could be interesting.
Yeah.
It would force him to rebench a Garchomp C if he got rid of that. I think that's probably his most likely target. Okay, we see Manaphy come down this turn. I really would have liked to see the heal on Luxray last turn. It would have I think it would have changed this game so much.
Yeah, I agree.
So we do see heal on the Luxray going down to 3. He does put OmniPoke in pretty much the same situation he was in before, which is you have to pick. You can either hit Palkia or you can hit Luxray, and you can't do both. So I see a water energy in Odysseus' hand. I'm trying to figure out where it came from. Okay. Oh, he didn't draw for turn. I see.
Okay, makes sense.
We see an energy come down on Palkia. All right, he's going hard for this level X now.
Does he play the Cyrus to get it, or?
Does he have an SP radar?
Oh, he might not.
He does not. He does not play SP radar.
I wonder what his targets are for that.
He's just gonna go Marnie. So he's essentially like. So Odysseus' plan, I think, is to snipe the 3 energy Garchomp. Do anything that he can to snipe this 3 energy Garchomp, but he doesn't get the cards that he needs to actually do that. So it's gonna be tough. Yeah, OmniPoke actually has so few cards left that. Oh no.
Yep. So if anyone's tuning in, excuse what happened. The Hedwell player basically, yeah, it happens. He shuffled instead of he had the mulligan function untapped instead of placing the cards at the bottom of the deck. Honestly, very easy mistake to make, especially Marnie's still kind of a weird card. But I think this is always this is more of it's not like a championship event. We obviously take the event very seriously, but if there's ways for us to at least make sure the game is still able to go as fair as possible, and then obviously this is good for everybody.
Right.
So able to I guess that's the benefit of open hands. We're able to double check. We can verify what cards he had in hand, and then normally this would be a unresolvable board state. So, but with our perfect information, we are able to fix this, which is good. So it looks like he's just gonna basically get back to where he started and then go from there. All right, looks like he's got everything. All right.
If he does it again, he's getting the game loss.
All right, so we are back on track. All right. All right, so it looks like, yep, no base set oak in this hand. So,
yeah, so this is going to be a much more difficult hand for OmniPoke to get out of.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to resolve it, but all right, so now we're moving forward. Yeah, not a lot for him to, go off of here. I don't know if the time distortion is very helpful. Alolan Vulpix certainly isn't. The Fairy Energy is, it's not real very good. So then where do we see him going from here?
I think we see a splashing turn. Forcing OmniPoke to discard those energy is the number one thing that Odysseus can do.
Yeah.
Next turn, he's actually got a really cheeky play too with the laser and the Garchomp Sea Level X that he can take a knockout with Bite on Luxray, or
Oh, yeah.
even without the energy to Flash Impact.
All right, so it looks like they are good to continue. They might just be gathering their bearings.
I think Odysseus is thinking.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he is still in kind of a weird spot. I guess he's going to go for the Pearl Breath, judging by the knockout. Leaving him only at 2 prizes remaining, so not a whole lot left for him to close this one out. What's nice about OmniPoke's board is that he does have the Star Raptor to be able to find whatever supporter he's looking for. So he can get out of his hand pretty quickly. And it looks like he's going to go for the healing with the Trevor, allowing him to search out any Pokemon. So he's basically able to recover off of this Marnie pretty well.
Yeah, the Trevor top deck was pretty nice.
Yeah, the Star Raptor's just giving him so many options. Like, yeah.
Oh, he didn't even top deck it. He searched it off Star Raptor. Okay.
Yeah. So he's able to basically just grab whatever he wants. Such great.
That was pretty silly. All right. Well, that dragon or that healing breath is definitely going to set Odysseus back, and now he's actually going to lose the Palkia to a claw swipe.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good at all. All right, we see the Luxray come up. Oh, Palkia G level X next card.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
The betrayal.
That's oh man, he's probably like, if I would have seen you like right like a card earlier. But, unfortunately, he's not gonna be able to use it effectively. We're gonna see a Poke Kid, just another Trevor, just a different flavor.
Different flavor of Trevor.
Yeah. So I guess what is he? I don't know what he goes for here.
Yeah, he has a Murkrow in deck, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any damage yet, but the Honchkrow doesn't have any damage yet, but
yeah. That is his last healing card, right? On OmniPoke side.
Yes, he's not going to be able to heal for the rest of the game. So he's essentially going to have to take his last 3 prizes with no more healing. And he might have prized Special Charge because we didn't see it in his old hand.
Right. And then we saw 4 off the top. And it wasn't in there either. We've seen a pretty significant part of his deck already.
Yeah, so there is a chance that he could run out of energy. If this Special Charge doesn't come out of his prizes, then very realistic possibility.
And I think the Gladian's in his prizes too, right?
He played it, I thought. Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think he's drawn it back off of his prizes yet. So very well could be that there's a Special Charge in there.
Oof.
Okay, we see him come down.
Gonna go ahead and heal off the Manaphy. Makes sense.
Yep. Get a weakness guard energy on the active.
He's
I think we might just see a swing for 30. He's probably contemplating the laser right now, but he decides to save it. I think that's a good play.
And there's the Oak. Although I don't know if he can actually play Oak comfortably.
That was very fortunate for sure, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be very difficult for him to actually play the Oak. At this point, I mean, OmniPoke is live again.
Right.
As far as having cards. But it's going to be a matter of, if he plays this Oak, does he just deck out in the end?
So what he can do, since he's got 3 energies on the other Garchomp, he can hit with that one for a prize. Galactic Switch to the other one and swing, and then if he gets Special Charge or Gladian, actually he would just guarantee get Special Charge at one point because he's going to get Special Charge or Gladian off the next 2 prizes.
Oh yeah, you're right. So the question at that point would become: is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to do it fast enough?
Right. Because he's got enough prizes on the bench that I don't think he's worried about losing Garchomps fast enough before he takes all his prizes.
Yeah, we see a Retriever, so I do think he's getting ready to use this Oak.
Maybe he didn't prize Special Charge. He didn't price Special Charge. That seems like that's pretty much.
Yeah. All right, Oak gets rid of a bunch of stuff. Finds a capture. That's good.
Right.
I think that's his last energy in deck.
So, is he attached for turn yet, or?
He's not.
So he can go into Dragon Rush this turn, right? Or does he attack with the other one because it's not damaged?
It's probably safer to attack with the other one.
Right.
Just because Odysseus does have laser, he has Giovanni's schemes. There could be like a trash bolt kind of play.
Yeah, actually, the extra 50 damage is kind of significant here because, I mean, if he's able to attack, if he's able to find a lightning energy, like, Luxray would be very hard to deal with.
Yeah, and I think what's probably going to happen is OmniPoke is just going to ignore this Luxray. He just says, I do not care about that card, and he's going to go for other stuff.
Right. He just
like, he's going to acknowledge that going after the Luxray is going to be disadvantageous for his game plan.
I mean, he should just be able to go knock out this turn, retreat to the other one, knock out, special charge, get the energy, finish the game.
So we do see the Dragon Rush onto Manaphy.
Yep. So
OmniPoke takes prize, and it's a Fuji, not what he wanted to see.
Well, I mean, that could actually give him another Garchomp to attack, another heal.
Odysseus plays Premier Ball. Don't think he actually has any targets.
I guess if you wanted to grab from the discard, but I don't know. He could.
Yeah, and you are right about the healing effect on the Fuji, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Does it pick up all the cards, or does it discard cards attached?
Shuffles them into death.
He'd be able to preserve energy that way too, if he really wanted to.
Power Spray, Hard Charm, Water Energy, all a little too late. He really needed that Power Spray a couple of turns ago when that second Healing Breath came out. Although he doesn't have the SP Pokemon in play to use it, so...
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that come down earlier. Can you imagine Healing Breathing and then get Power Sprayed before?
Yeah, I think Odysseus is probably cursing his draws.
Yeah. You got the Palkia GX a turn, or Palkia G level X a turn too late, and now he's seeing the Power Spray now. Yeah, it's a little bit delayed for him.
Actually, Odysseus is in a really interesting spot now because he... No, there's no way. He has a Seeker and a Hard Charm. So he can Hard Charm the Shaman, he can Seeker later, or he can Seeker next turn.
Yeah.
And then that would allow him to stay out of Dragon Rush for a turn.
Yeah.
So I would honestly expect that play to come out. Just Hard Charm the Shaman, Seeker, whatever OmniPoke does not knock out here, and then make it as hard as possible for OmniPoke to take his last prize.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Surely we see a snipe on the Palkia. Now, if OmniPoke sees, I think this is like a really difficult play to see.
Right.
So I don't know if we'll actually see it come out here, but there is a possibility that OmniPoke sees the hard charm in Odysseus' list and hits the Shaman. And if he hits the Shaman, then it's game over for Odysseus because OmniPoke will get that special charge back.
Yeah, and luckily
However,
Dexes are available.
Yeah, I think OmniPoke's in a weird situation here. Does he have any draw supporters left?
I don't think so.
Ooh, that makes things extra exciting. Yeah, so he's essentially just going to be top decking and hoping to hit DCE for several turns.
Yeah.
I think he's really considering whether he wants to Dragon Rush or attack the active, but he does go for the Dragon Rush onto the Palkia, which means Odysseus is going to have the chance to stay out of Dragon Rush range. So we see OmniPoke with the Gladion. That is the worst of the two because that means he can't support her afterward.
Right. Yeah, he has a Gladion for special charge. Shuffle the 2 energies back in. With no real
I would love to see a hard charm onto the Shaman and a Seeker.
I mean, that's the only way he doesn't lose here.
Well, he has at least a turn.
Right.
Because OmniPoke can't draw cards after he plays the Gladion.
Right. He doesn't still have access to the capture energy, right?
Didn't he attach it?
He might have.
Capture energy is in discard. Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
gone.
He attached it there. So he is down to, he needs special charge to attack again.
Yeah. I don't think there's any real downside for Odysseus on the Seeker play. Like, he gives the Garchomp, or he gives OmniPoke the Garchomp back, like, big deal. The constraint here is the energy, not the healing.
So we see Baby Search.
Oh, Babies. I mean, he is going to have some options.
Right.
But so he does have another turn still, because there's no way that OmniPoke gets a Dragon Rush off this turn. I believe he's totally out of energy in deck now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Okay, so OmniPoke has no energy left. They are all in his discard or in play. We see Odysseus play Buddy Buddy Rescue for Palkia. So he might be looking to Seeker the Shaman and get energy on the Palkia. I could see that.
So now Power Spray is live, right? Because he has 3 SP Pokemon.
Power Spray is live now, yeah. So he can give the Healing Breath back without much of a concern. He attaches to the other Luxray. Okay. So he wants to save the Seeker for the Luxray GL level X, and he wants to go after the energy. Interesting play. It does make sense, but there's some risk to it for sure.
Right.
Oh, however, if he Bright Looks the Bronzong, then OmniPoke will have enough energy for exactly one Dragon Rush. Yes, okay.
Does Mr. Fuji grab any Pokemon or just bench?
Bench.
Can he get out of the active? I guess
with Bronzong?
I guess he would have to Galactic Switch.
Yeah. So you can essentially, you have to wait until you draw both DCEs.
So he is going to.
So we see Gladion. Special charge definitely comes off this Gladion. And there's the special charge.
It's about.
You know, you feel pretty okay with leaving a special charge in your prizes when you play Gladion. You don't think that you're gonna have to like last prize Gladion in for the special charge.
No, not at all. But I mean, hey, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
See a fast call. If he has another supporter, it's gonna be tough. If he has another draw supporter, then Odysseus essentially has a turn. which I don't
Right.
think is going to be enough. Important to know. No, never mind. I was going to say important to note that every energy OmniPoke loses at this point is pretty important. However, the DZEs all make it pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like a really weird situation.
Yeah, for sure. An interesting play could be to like spray a galactic switch. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the weirdest, not the weirdest, but like the set of plays that favors Odysseus the most here. All right, we see a failed fast call, a galactic switch into the other Garchomp,
Mr. Fuji.
and a claw swipe. A Fuji on the other. I don't like that play
I don't
because that means yes, he's going to be farther from decking out. Oh, he's got the Mightyena that he can attack with still.
Right. I guess that's like his fallback.
Yeah, Odysseus can spray the poison structure though.
Right.
So the turn that it comes down, it's not going to work.
Yeah, he doesn't really.
Would have
have
liked to
good
see a
options.
hard charm on the Luxray X last turn, just because situations like this aren't concerning anymore.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't particularly know a good line for him this turn. Like I guess yeah, he's got power spray to get rid of the poison structure, so he can't lose to Mightyena, but doesn't have a lot set up for him to really take advantage of this board state.
Yeah, it's weird. I think the hard charm onto the active is probably necessary.
Yeah. Because then you're
And
10 short.
then-
Right? You're 80 minus 20.
Yeah, which would not be. It would be exactly not enough.
Which would be great because then he could just retreat, go Seeker next turn.
Right. I would like to see a rescue energy on the Honchkrow as well.
Right, give him that option. He's actually,
Yep.
yeah, he actually should have. He should be attacking with Ravenclaw next turn. Right.
Odysseus could still do it. It really just depends on, Joe has a 1 in 4 chance here. We're going to see the retreat now. I think we're going to see an early Seeker. And that will probably lose the game for Odysseus. Because he's got 2 prizes left.
Yeah, I mean, what do you bring up, Rongzong?
Yeah, and anything that he brings up too early is just going to be a waste of a Seeker.
Oh, and he can just Seeker the Rongzong back.
He does pick the Bronzong up. I don't think Odysseus is too worried about that. I think he probably assumed that would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so he picks up the Luxray. Rescue energy to the Luxray. Maybe a bright look on the Poochyena.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think he did this too early, though. I think he's
Yeah.
barely going to miss it.
See, I thought he was going to at least because he's got the hard charm, so he would have been safe from an attack. I don't think he's played all of his resources, so there's nothing really worried about OmniPoke doing to take the knockout.
Right. He's not under imminent pressure.
So like I would have liked to maybe attach to Honchkrow and then attack, and then you have basically the free turn of just saving your Pokemon. But now what does he bring? I guess like I don't know. Not having the other lightning energy really stings. Brings up the
Yeah,
Skuntank.
not being able to trash bolt is big. So he pulls up the Skuntank. Basically just going to force OmniPoke to attach a DCE to it.
Yeah, I mean like he can kind of just hang out, right? Like attach DCE, get the other one, attach retreat.
It depends on the order he draws his cards, I think.
He drew a Garchomp.
Something useless. All right.
Unfortunately, he threw that back in his deck with Mr. Fuji.
With Fuji, yeah, he immediately punished on that Fuji.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to Celio for Weavile, try to thin his deck out, give himself higher odds of drawing those DCEs. Now he has a 1 in 3 chance. He is going to have to draw 2 of them now. Does Odysseus have a Dark Energy? That would make this interesting. He does not. He is out of Dark Energy outs. So if he had a Dark Energy, he could start like feint attacking, which would be really cool.
I think the main problem I'm seeing here is that Odysseus needs 2 prizes. OmniPoke needs 1.
Yeah, and that's like what the dire situation comes down to.
So like at what point can he just go like DCE attached to Garchomp, right? And then be like, all right, now I can retreat my Skunk Tank on the next turn.
Yeah, and I think that's basically the situation. I think all Odysseus is doing here is saying, like, I need your DCEs to be the bottom 2 cards of your deck.
Right. Which OmniPoke has 6 cards left. He does have a Lily. But Lily
I don't think it's possible for him to play enough cards to be able to use the Lily, though.
Which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, he's pretty much got a handful of Pokemon. It's going to Galactic Switch up. That actually does not help him at all.
I think it allows him to attack with the Skunk Tank, maybe. But why?
Oh yeah, use Smokescreen.
I don't know if that helps him at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just like, yeah, kill it.
Energy to Honchkrow is definitely the play here, though.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the energy on the active.
I think it's endangering an energy that he doesn't need to endanger.
Yeah, Skunk Tank, yeah, 20 damage does not seem like it's gonna be that impactful. It's not with this Lux trait, it doesn't have any damage on it. Like, you're definitely trying to attack Garchomp.
Yeah.
And Odysseus doesn't have to knock out the Skunk Tank. Because OmniPoke only has 6 cards left in deck, and Odysseus has 9.
Yeah, this is very, very strange. I don't think the Galactic Switch matters. Like, at the end of the day,
it's really not.
OmniPoke has to draw 2 DCEs.
Yeah, he's still probably looking to go DC on Garchomp, then DC on Skuntank, retreat, knock out either Cresselia or Shaman.
We see a water onto the Palkia. I think he's disrespecting this Honchkrow.
Which is a shame. Honchkrow's doing a lot of damage at the moment.
I know. Honchkrow right now deals 60 damage with just Raven's Claw. Maybe he's trying to set up for like a Hydro shot in future turns, because that he could get there. There's 1 DCE, but he needs 2.
Yeah. So you can probably just attach to the Garchomp, right? Because Odysseus doesn't play any ways to discard the energy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You just attach there, and then you get the next DCE and retreat.
Yep.
And that would be game.
But now OmniPoke has gone from a 1 in 3 chance to a 1 in 5 chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he cares, because I don't think Odysseus can win the game before he gets the DCE.
Let's see.
Because if he puts it on Garchomp, if Skuntank's knocked out, he just promotes Garchomp and wins. If he doesn't knock out Skuntank, he just draws on a DCE, retreats.
Odysseus can Hydro Shot with Palkia G level X.
Right.
That is his only play on the table, essentially. He can't knock out the Skuntank. Skuntank's going to stay there forever.
So he's going to need 3 more attachments?
Yep.
Yeah. Seems a little rough.
It's going to be tight. It's definitely going to be tight.
I just hope if he doesn't attach the DCE here, I think he's making a mistake.
See, Lusamine.
Unless he's got something off this that he can grab.
Oh, Lusamine for Opal.
Makes sense.
and TV reporter.
Okay,
That
both cards
does make.
basically guarantee him.
Oh, he's gonna get the Janine instead of the TV reporter, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Janine guarantees him DC next turn. So he touches DC to Garchomp. He has it next turn.
Yeah. Yeah, the only mistake he could make at this point is not attaching.
Right.
He's gonna Galactic Switch and energy off.
So yep.
He does attached. Okay. So that is gonna lock the game up, most likely.
Sadly, you cannot power spray an attachment.
Yeah, barring some like major misplay from OmniPoke.
Just hoping his opponent doesn't play Marnie again, I suppose.
See a Cyrus here. I don't know what the Cyrus finds.
He doesn't play a way to get Palkia with it. I guess an energy.
Yeah, I mean energy is good.
But not a lot.
I guess there's a chance OmniPoke goes for the Opal and hits double tails, like he doesn't go for the Janine.
Which wouldn't make any sense because Janine looks at 4, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean Janine is guaranteed.
That is something he could do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like any possible way for Odysseus to still win at this point. He goes for Water Energy Giovanni's scheme.
I think he's evaluating his options. If he knocks out the Skunk Tank, he is going to lose to a Dragon Rush. Yeah. He doesn't knock out the Skunk Tank. Another DC.
I think it's pretty clear that knocking out the Skunk Tank is not going to be an option.
Doesn't have a way to attack the bench, unfortunately. I guess he could spending turn if he wanted to. Like if OmniPoke had one more card left in deck, he would probably be able to say, well, there's a chance you don't get it. But
yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah, now he's just kind of left to something, some act of God.
Yeah. That's a pass.
Yep, that's the best he can do.
Draw, Janine comes out. Gonna find him that DCE to retreat the active.
You know, technically the only way he could lose is if he Dragon Rushed the wrong Pokemon.
Yeah, Dragon Rush active.
Right. And then he would definitely not be able to win the game. But
all right, that is going to be the game for OmniPoke, so we should be able to move up into the grand finals without too much delay.
Yeah. So, wow, that was the second game was definitely a lot longer than the first game. That's for sure. This will be a rematch for OmniPoke and Mike Gibbs, who Mike Gibbs actually sent OmniPoke to the losers bracket, so OmniPoke's definitely looking to get some revenge.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can.
We'll be right back with the winner with the grand finals.